This show is brought to you by MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/Joey right now to get 20% off of your first order. That's MeUndies.com/Joey right now and check out all their men's and women's underwear. You're going to get 20% off of your first order at MeUndies.com/Joey, and don't forget shipping is always free in the US and Canada. The show is also brought to you by Texture. The Texture app lets you tap into the world's most popular magazines anytime, anywhere using your smartphone or tablet. And the best part is Texture is offering the listeners of the Church of What's Happening Now a free trial right now when you go to texture.com/Joey. That's texture.com/Joey. Texture.com/Joey. The show is also brought to you by Petnet. Stop worrying about feeding your pets the wrong amount of food every day. The Petnet SmartFeeder will feed the healthiest portions at the right time, every time, automatically. Get your Petnet SmartFeeder plus free shipping when you go to shoppetnet.com/Joey. That's shoppetnet.com/Joey. Shoppetnet.com/Joey.
Here we go. Another fun-filled evening with Uncle Joey and his Goomba of Death, Lee Syatt. A little Sylvester. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Kick that mule, Lee. Kick that mule. We ain't got time to fuck around, Lee. Go, Lee. Oh, shit. Here we go. Wednesday, the 19th. Do your thing, cocksuckers. Who gives a fuck? You're going for it no matter what. What's the story there? Fuck nut. Everything all right in your world?
I love that you said that my bottom button is fighting, and it's always...
Oh, it's stressing out right now.
It's stressing. I can never... I can't... That's the one thing I'm looking forward to about being any skinnier, is just... I can always... the top button always works, but the further down you go, it's fucked up.
It's a fucking nightmare.
And it's worse. I hate having one open when you look down after, after a bar mitzvah or after a wedding, you're dancing, and you find out, your shirt's all open, you're sweating. Ugh.
They see your stomach hair and shit, all drenched.
Do you have a lot of hair? I am covered in fucking hair.
No, thank God. I don't even have hair on my fucking legs. My daughter's got hairy legs, which shocks the fuck out of me. I pick her up, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And you don't see them. They're just these little blonde tentacles of fucking hair that are curly and shit. It's, I bought a shirt, in the prime of my diet, when I was at 270, and I put it on for the baptism.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And the fucking buttons were about to bust. And I was never so cracked in my life. I thought, I didn't know what happened to the shirt. I thought I didn't try it on when I got it. I was kind of fucking stuck. And I finally said, well, and now the shirt fits.
That's awesome.
Now the buttons aren't stressing the fuck out. It's like when you see a woman with the yoga pants, and she's putting them to a stress test. You see the skin, and you see the tattoo, but they're black pants.
Oh yeah, I love those yoga pants.
She's stretching those motherfuckers out. I love yoga pants, but it's like everybody wears them all fucking day now. Women just say, fuck it, we're just wearing yoga pants, which I'm not mad at you. It's kind of interesting with the nice sneakers and shit.
It's funny, they've started wearing sweatshirts around their waist at the gym because guys are so creepy. They just have to now. Because it is kind of weird sometimes, especially around here. Some of the gyms, it looks like they're dressed for a porn shoot at a gym.
Well, you go to that 24-hour fitness, which is always a fucking Actorville.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, chicks that get dolled up with a hat, with the ponytail coming out of the hat.
Did you ever, go, I guess, hit on a girl at the gym? I always hear about people meeting people at the gym.
No.
Chubby guys can't really meet people at the gym.
No. You know what? I say 3 words at the fucking gym. Do you know that? 3 words.
That's it?
3 words. There was one guy at the YMCA when I first started my mission 8 years ago. There was one guy at the fucking YMCA that was 70-something, maybe 80. He looked great. God bless him. but it was his social activity.
Oh, yeah.
His social activity was to get to the Y at 9 a.m. and stay there till 7. And like do a little bit of this, but talk to you. But he would talk to you when you were in the middle of your workout. And they perceived to fucking talk to you and talk, and you're like, listen. So it got to the point where I got the heavy iPhones, the speakers, and I put them on my ears, and and it's the rudest thing. I was raised better than that. But I got an hour. I got an hour and 15 minutes. I got an appointment. I got to go do something. I got to pick somebody up. I got to go do this. I got an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to stop for 15 minutes to fucking talk to you about the weather or nothing. I got to do a fucking workout, plus I got to jump on the elliptical. But there's people who go to the gym to chit-chat. It drives me fucking crazy. It drives me crazy. I'm getting a bag for the garage.
Oh, you are? You're getting a bag?
She won't let me go get it because she wants to get it for me for Christmas.
Oh.
And I'm getting the weight set, like a basic weight set, just to be able to... Like last night, I couldn't fall asleep. 1 in the morning, you bust out a little workout and shit. You're not going to go to sleep. You're going to take a nice shower, but at least you'll be tired and you did a workout late night. I used to work out late night for years when I had my own type of shit that I could just go out to.
Were you like doing it at the end of your day, or were you staying up all
night? I was
night?
working at the end of my day, 10 o'clock. When I was your age, I could, you still got energy at 10.
Right.
When you're fucking, when you're young, 20, 35, you could work, come home, take a breather, and then at 9 get motivated to fucking go hit it, which is a big motivation. That's a very big motivation. For a guy like me now, today, it doesn't work. For maybe you or some other people, a lot of people can't wake up early and go to the fucking gym and get that much stuff thrown at them. I'm not mad at you. That's just the way life is. I don't have energy to go now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the fucking energy to go at 8 o'clock at night. I just don't. I can't focus. I got other shit on my mind. When I go early in the morning, it's good because it breaks that. It breaks that stupidity that you have all day in half at 12 o'clock, Right. Especially if you're writing and you're sitting there and you're stuck with a fucking subject or something. It's always great to get up in the middle of the day and go bust it out and come back, take a shower, eat something, and get back to it for 2 or 3 hours.
It's nice. It's hard, though, in the middle of the day for me is tough. Just because I feel like I can never get going. Like, you wake up super early and start working. I don't wake up until 8:30 sometimes. So for me to, like, go and work out at 12, like, that's why I like the 9 a.m. And it's tough, like, because a lot of times I don't want to leave in the morning, to be very honest. So, and that's, like, to be honest with everyone, ever since kettlebells closed, I've been kind of fucking up. And I've just, in the last week or so, started going back. And it's harder when, like, that's why... I think that's why people like jiu-jitsu and all that. Like, I like kettlebells. It's tough when you're just going by yourself. It's hard, not to stay motivated. It's not motivation, but just to get up, just to get out of bed or leave the office or whatever.
I just know I was really heavy at one time, and I know that I never want to feel that way again. Number one, and I never want to start over again. Like, I never want to stop working out for a year and have to start over again at 55. I always try to do something, even when my back was hurt. This weekend I went to Chicago with you, and I only got to work out Friday. But I worked out, and I worked out pretty hard, and I gave a good fucking sweat, and the shirt's still in the fucking luggage. Oh my God, that thing's gonna smell like fucking cottage cheese. It was still wet when I checked out on Sunday, so I put it in the front.
Oh, okay.
So I just put it in the front. Now, when I didn't have a bag, it was right there. I was running out the fucking door. But I always try to do something. The last... I went to the chiropractor Monday. He said, take off till Thursday. But yesterday I walked, and today I walked like a motherfucker. I put my my running sneakers on, the New Balances.
Yeah.
And I just went today, and I came back and I was wet. And I did some fucking whatever things. I did a couple curls, couple push-ups, bunch of sit-ups.
How many times do you think you've started over? I must have started over at least 4 times.
No, not since 2000. When I started going for this exercise routine, I have not started over. I don't get that sore anymore. It's unless I try something new.
Right.
Like along the line, you try something new, you will get a little sore. It's different muscle groups and whatnot. It's tough to stay motivated, but I know the other side. When you're in your late 20s, your mid-30s, you could take a couple of years off, and you could survive with just doing little things and keeping an eye on your diet. But when you get back into it, when you're 40, it's really hard again. You know, that's why if I know what I know now, I would have never stopped. I would have always kept some type of program. That's why I say something like jiu-jitsu, because you're going to do it for the rest of your life. You're going to be doing that and mixing it with other things, but that's your foundation. It could be karate, it could be kung fu, it could be whatever the fuck you want. It could be ballet, it could be Pilates. You need something that you like, that you know you're going to like for a long time. You know, the guys are there, there's girls there, you can talk to people. It kind of takes you away from your norm. It takes you out of your fucking norm, which, if you know anything about me, I love doing.
Right, I hate it.
I love, since I was a fucking kid, I love doing different shit. You can only play basketball on 38th Street for so long. You get to know everybody's moves. Let's take this show over to Sea Caucus. Let's take this show to fucking 16th Street, to Gilmore. You know what I'm saying? Let's take this, and that's how you gauge who the fuck you are. It's tough the first couple of days, no matter what you do when you go outside your comfort zone. But it's also interesting. And you get it out of the way. You go, you know what? I did it. I don't like it.
See, I don't find it interesting. Like, to me, it's scary for, like, the first month. Like, starting a new job, new anything to me, I don't think I avoid... In some senses, I avoid certain things, like working out and other stuff. But, like, I'll do other things that are new to me. But, like, I get so much anxiety about anything new. I don't like it. I wish I could be excited about trying something outside of my comfort zone, because I'm not at all.
You know, we're two different age things here, so there's a lot of things I've tried over the years. Like, I didn't like amusement parks, but I didn't like amusement parks as a kid. I didn't like the whole fucking drama. I didn't like seeing people puke on rides. I didn't like none of that. I was always a kid that got car sick.
Have you changed a lot since you were a kid? Like your personality, what you like, what you enjoy?
It's a tough question. I mean, we all had to evolve a little bit. And they're sure, like that. You know, I taught you about the food you eat. The same food you ate, not as bad as the shit you ate. You know, I grew up in Jersey where I ate hamburger deluxes, open steaks. You know, there was no Wendy's. You know, Wendy's was the first one on Tunley Avenue. McDonald's has always been around like cancer. Kentucky Fried Chicken's always been around. Jack in the Box was always up in Queens. Arthur Treach's Fish and Chips. That was like a fish and chip place. Nice. I never really ate there except once when I was a kid in the Bronx or something. But there wasn't the abundance. There wasn't no fucking Subway. There was no fucking J&J Brothers. There was no Jersey, Pete's, Mike's, whatever the fuck it is, those sandwiches. There was none of that shit, you know. I was thinking about you today because I was thinking about my deepest moments. Even when I lived in that fucking rocket ship, I ate good. Like, I never fucking ate bad. Like, up the corner from me was the Palmers when I lived in the rocket ship. And the Palmers had, like, nice Italian bread and, like, prosciutto and ham. And I'd eat one of those. I never thought of fucking going to a fast food restaurant. I never thought of getting, like all those years, I never thought of any of that shit. I got pizza. There was a place when I was growing up, the Midtown Lounge, and they used to have a chef. The one brother was a chef. And every day he served a fucking lunch that was superb for $8, $7. And I made it a point to go there because it was salad, soup. I got all the 4 fucking nutrients. It was a dessert. You know, I've never been a drinker with my meals. I fucking hate drinking with my meals.
Right, yeah.
You know, I hate anything extra, anything going in my stomach with food. But I never, it's like you said to me the one day, yeah, I like trying new things, Joey, when it comes to food. You don't like trying new things. Your girlfriend likes trying new things. And when you want to be suave, you want to, oh, sure, I'll try new things. You don't want to try new things.
Food, I don't, here, okay, I don't.
Like, you drive past the shittiest restaurant, like where you go for chicken teriyaki. I'm surprised you haven't been dead yet over there.
Well, I won't go in that.
I won't go in that fucking mall.
Really?
Like, that whole mall gives me the creeps. Like, that whole fucking strip mall gives me the creeps. Would it have given me the creeps? And I was like, yes, I didn't.
Well, because it's more a lot. What the way I was thinking was just how you live your life. Like, just I was talking to someone today, and they were saying, like, you shouldn't fight who you are. You shouldn't, like, for me, like, what I've been struggling with a lot recently is part of me wants to be an entrepreneur. Like, I like it, but part of me also, I'm not sure if I'm cut out for it, to be honest. And it's not this, but just like running a business. And they were saying, like, I was talking to them, and they're like, oh, I ran a business for a while, but I thrive as part of a team. And part of what I've been going back and forth with is, like, would I be, like, what should I do? Like, should I join a team? Like you said, help someone grow a podcast, or should I do something on my own? And part of me wants the challenge of doing it myself, but part of me isn't sure if I can do it.
Okay. Here it is. Plain and fucking simple.
Okay.
20 years ago, 10 years ago, I would say, you know what, Lee? Go get yourself a kid your age. And, okay, so you go get part of a team. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what team do you want to be a part of?
I don't know.
Okay, right now, I know maybe 3 people, 4 people who know as much as you as producing podcasts. One of them is Red Band. Jamie.
Yeah.
Vicky Pezza. We have a lot of people that have been doing this since day one, okay? So now, that's some options for you there. For you to open up this business or whatever the fuck you want to do. Now, at the other part, let's say you do find a team. Like all these other podcast groups that are going on, they're popping up. The difference between you and I and Joe Rogan and Ari, we do the podcast. I love coming here.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
I wish I could come here 5 fucking days a week. Instead of going on the road, I just couldn't support my family 5 fucking days a week. So I need to go on the road, and I love doing this, but we have it down to 2 days a week right now, and it's the law of diminishing returns. I just want to do this for a while, so I don't want to saturate myself and starting 6 podcasts and trying to be a part of everybody's podcast. I'm happy just doing this with you. You're experienced. Let's say you join up with somebody who's been doing it for 2 years. And when I did radio for 18 years, radio's dead. Radio's dead. Get rid of that fucking voice. Radio's dead, okay? This is podcast. And I want you to put your emotions, which a lot of people don't do. They still think this is radio. And that's why that podcast doesn't thrive as well, because they still think this is radio. So you have 2 options. You could go with some people who are not as experienced as you, and you got to split the money up the same fucking juice. Okay? How you going to feel about that? That's number 1. Number 2, I think the ideas that you have should be you, and as time goes on, you're going to hire somebody who in turn you're going to make to be a miniature you, and they understand the fucking what's going on here. But
I mean,
what's the decision? Entrepreneur means I was doing paperwork today, Lee. I was making copies and filing and stapling, and I enjoyed it. I was doing it for the podcast. I was getting IOs and doing this, and you got to open up your calendar and mark where it goes. Now I could take somebody and pay them $12-15 an hour to do that. But you know what? I wouldn't know what was going on. I want to know what's going on. And that's the problem with me. I always want to know what's going on. Everybody who fails is because they spread themselves out too thin and they don't have control of 2 or 3 things. And meanwhile, when you go there, they're getting $800 mics instead of $300 mics, and they're drinking fucking $22 water instead of regular water, and they got the extreme, you know what I'm saying? Like little fucking things that they wouldn't understand because they're not paying for it.
Right, okay.
There's little fucking things along the line. So these are the decisions you have to do. Mm-hmm. This is why I never spread myself thin. Because I want to always know what the right hand and the left hand are doing. You want to call me a control freak? Call me what the fuck you want. But show me a guy who's got fucking 19 things going on that could look at all of them, that could oversee all of them. And the only way you learn that is by losing it when you think you could do everything. I.e., I could do this, I could get on a plane, come back, shoot a movie. I got to have a blog on Monday. I told Timmy that I'll do his podcast. I told this guy to do his podcast. And your calendar is unbearable.
Right,
You have no control of nothing, and it's the law of diminishing returns. You don't know what you're saying on these fucking podcasts. You don't know what you're saying on stage anymore. So this is what I did from 2003, from like 2000 to 2005. This is how I was living.
Okay.
You follow me? And I got my lumps. I made some enemies, okay, because I couldn't cover all these dates. I couldn't do this guy's movie and do this. I couldn't do 1,000 things. So now I stop, I take a deep breath, and I think. And I think a couple things. How is this going to affect my life right now? What's affect my life? Do I want to stay out of the house for 4 fucking days shooting your stupid movie in Marina Del Rey for $100 a day towards my insurance? Not fucking really.
Right, no.
There's 1,000 options in my life now. As you go along with your life, your options become less because you have more responsibility. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Right now, let me tell you something. Right now, you're 28 years old. If I
Right.
came to you right now and said, listen, I got a Carnival cruise line. You go on a ship for 3 months of fucking time. You're going to do podcasts on the fucking ship. We're going to pay you $60,000 for fucking 3 months. You could do it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You could give Paula a big hug. Big fucking hug. Give her 3 dumplings and say, I'll see you in 3 months, dog. And guess what? You're only going to be home for a weekend when you come back. And you're going to go out again. And these are the responsibilities. These are the things, these decisions that you make as a young man that caves your career, caves your life, because you think there's something at home. There's a lot of things. I had no responsibilities. I didn't leave North Bergen, New Jersey, because since day one I was quested to head west. Once my mother died and I saw where my life was going, I had nothing holding me there. A girl? What do I give a fuck? What girl? Between a girl and a life, you got to pick your life.
Right. Oh,
Because
yeah.
the girl will always be there.
I left a girl in Boston. Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of weird, all these things. So right now, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, we want you to go to South Africa for 6 months and do comedy, we'll pay you all big amounts of money, but you can't come home for 6 months. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm trying to raise a kid and have a wife and have a family. That's more important to me than fucking anything. I could always make a living, dog. I could always make a living. Do you think I became, right now what I do, I'm an entrepreneur. For the last 26 years, I could look you in the face and say I'm a fucking entrepreneur. Did I ever tell anybody I was an entrepreneur? No. Did I ever get a business card and go to dinners with my fucking stupid friends and say I'm an entrepreneur, whatever the fuck the word is? No. Because I just did it. And I got better, and I failed along the way. You got to keep paperwork. You got to do this. You're going to be a good comic, you got to write. You got to write your dates down. And, if you want to be a good plumber, if I say to you, tomorrow I'm going to hire you as a plumber lead, you know what, Joey? I'm going to work with Joey. Joey isn't rich. He doesn't struggle, though. He's got a wife, 2 kids. They're both in private school. Joey doesn't go out for expensive dinners every night, but he's got a nice plumbing business. You know what, Mom? I'm going to learn to be a plumber.
Okay.
First thing you're going to do is you're going to get a notebook. Because every day at the end of the year, now you won't know this till you're in for 2 years. I'm telling you now. You're going to get a notebook. And every day you're going to write down what you learned with the date, who you worked with, what tools you learned. So you get everything you do. Remember, when you're a plumber, an electrician, a construction guy, they're basically paying you to solve problems. Okay? Every day, what's a plumber do? He installs toilets. He can just come up and do 10 toilets a day. It don't work that way. Because each situation is going to be fucking different.
Uh-huh.
This one's going to need ladders to carry the toilet. The toilet don't fit through the fucking door. The old pipe was in there. There's always a by the way.
Right,
Stuff.
yeah.
You don't get paid for installing toilets. You get paid to deal with the by the ways, whether you're an electrician, concrete, whatever the fuck you're doing. There's always a by the way. A job just does not go smooth.
Seems like there's that in life.
Your experience is what helps that job move along. Oh, I know what to do. Cut that piece of wall off. There's an existing wall in there. And all of a sudden you sit there, you go, what the fuck does this guy know? He's been doing it for 20 years. He knows every wire in these fucking walls. It's the same thing in any fucking career. I didn't know this when I became an electrician. Did I write this shit down? I started writing it down after a year. What pipes I bent, how thick the pipes were. Just stupid shit.
And you would like go over it at night, or what would you do?
Would I go over it at night? Yeah, I would go over it at night. I go over it at the end of the week. But that goes back to grammar school. When I sit you down and we talk about the world of the war of 19 whatever, or the Holocaust, what happened? As the teacher's talking about it, you're writing notes. And when you go home that night, what do you do? If you're not me, I didn't do this. I'm sure you did. You're a nice kid. You go and look over those notes. And every night you look over those notes for a half hour, 20 minutes. So guess what? When finals comes, you're a bad motherfucker. You know this stuff already.
See, I fucked up. And
we all fucked up, Lee.
No.
This is what I'm saying to you. We've all fucked up in that department.
And it sounds like it sounds weird, and I think I've talked about it before. me knowing that I was kind of smart, I was smart enough not to study, fucked me up. I wish I never knew that, because I never would go over my notes, and I would never almost take notes unless like I was interested or like it was a class that I was terrible in. I would take notes. But English, history, my last English class I took in college, didn't read one of the books. I would listen to what everyone else was saying, and I would say it. I know a lot of people do that. I know that's not a new thing in school. But that's why it's hard. That's why I've been stressing about being an entrepreneur, because I feel like that work ethic, my work ethic is there when I'm working for somebody. When I'm working at like CVS, like that's a manual. I can do it. But for me,
you have great work ethic.
But it's
your organizational skills blows, and it takes you too long to get up and get out. That'll always kill you. Get up, get out. That Bob Marley said that 22 years ago. Go out for, you're right, whatever. Get up, whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
And that's a problem, not with me. I don't really give a fuck. But everybody I've seen that doesn't have the ability to rock and roll in the morning, that's not a good ability. I want you to be able to rock and roll at the drop of a hat. I want you to be able to fucking, sometimes we oversleep. It's that guy that wakes up and goes, I got this. I'm overslept, but watch me put this together in 15 fucking minutes.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, it takes you quick to get up in the morning. I know you get up at 4 sometimes and you hit the computer and you look at numbers and different things, which that's a great quality. Listen, that's what I'm saying. You want to be an entrepreneur, go for it, Lee. You have all the fucking tools. There's nothing to sweat here. As long as you do the work. Before you go into it, I want you to make a checklist. I want you to really know the work you're getting yourself into, so you could tell everybody else what you're doing, so everybody understands your schedule. And go for it. The most important thing in any of this shit is going for it. You learn the most after a failure. I sit here with you now and I talk about this thing with school. One of my fucking biggest failures when I got left back. Because I didn't get left back because I was stupid. I got left back because I got lazy.
Right, yeah.
And I thought I could beat the system. And you're not going to beat the system. I'm glad I got that lesson handed to me. I had the same problem you had. But something else came out of me when I got left back. I learned something. I learned how hard. I wasn't as intelligent as you. I know right now today, I hear my wife talk. I'm not intelligent. I hear Joe Rogan speak and Ari and all you guys that are really, really, really college educated. My smarts isn't in that department. I have a different type of smarts. Mm-hmm. Okay, and along the way, it's built up the smart where you guys are at from reading books and going online and talking to people and asking questions on a particular topic that you're interested in. I'm not book smart like a lot of you guys, but I know one thing, I could be. Because I'll take the same book you're fucking reading, I'll break that motherfucker down into chunks. And I'll pull out of that book what I need to know, what's important out of that book. And that's what I know how to do. And I'll get it down word to fucking word. After I got left back was where I learned to review my schoolwork every night. Even after my mother died that year in high school, I had like an hour when you get home, when everybody's showering and shit. I would look over tomorrow's work. Before I went out and did the hits of ass that I talk about and smoked the 22 joints with the Avillos and all those savages behind the shed, I looked over my work. You know why? Because those guys were book smart. Steve Avillo was book smart. Lubes was really book smart at MIT. Glenn Conti was men's and men's. Fernie was men's and men's. But I always had some, and I learned it after I got left back that I was a hard worker. But I knew how to organize. And I listened to that fucking teacher. I listened to what was important to her. I got to learn what was important to her, and that's what I excelled in. And that's how you get A's and B's.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean important to her? Like what she emphasized?
You know when something's important to somebody. When I make you go through pages and I go, don't worry about that, worry about this, that's important to her. She's going to say different things in her speech that are important to her. Now, do you know what quality you're learning there? when you listen to her and you're trying to figure this out? Salesmanship. Because you're listening to their needs. It's the same fucking thing, Lee. You take their needs and you blast it against them. So what are you doing with her? You know what she's going to ask you on the fucking quiz, what she's been talking about. What's important to her? And you get to know what's important to her, and you get to know down to the fucking T. And you get great grades. I'm not saying I was a fucking Phi Beta Kappa, but for the amount of drugs I was doing with no supervision and shit, I didn't do a bad fucking job. I didn't quit school. I wasn't forced to quit school because I was stupid. I quit school because I was stupid. I didn't think about the future, but now thinking about it, I didn't do shit. I should have quit 2 years early. If I knew what I know now, I would have quit 2 fucking years early.
Jesus.
Because I could have got my GED and still gone to college.
Right, yeah.
What's the fucking difference?
None.
What's the fucking difference? So you're 16 now, you fucking quit. You get a job with your father for 2 fucking years. You put away money. You get your GED when you're 18. You go to the community college. And after 2 years, you transfer into a major fucking college. How's that one for you? They'll give you more of a nod because you had a problem, had to quit. You make up some fucking story that your foot went bad. You stepped on a fucking grenade or something in Icesville. Whatever the fuck you're going to tell them. And it's so weird how all these things I say to you, like the organization, I didn't know nothing about this shit, Lee. You learned this along the way.
Yeah, but was it hard for you to break bad habits? Because that's what it's.
You know what breaks bad habits? Two things: losing money breaks bad habits, and losing things. Like if you come to me and I don't have the paperwork on you, like the first year I did the podcast, I would always get mad because I would always read the fucking things 3 times a week, but I never bothered to look at the IOs.
Right.
I never bothered to look at the dates on them. I just take them for granted. There was 2 or 3 times a month. And then I get pissed off when they pay me for one time. I go, well, what about, look at the IO. Oh, I never took the time to look for IO. So what happened? I lost money. That's how you learn. You learn by getting kicked in the fucking ass.
But at that point, sometimes it's too late. Like that's like everyone always says you learn from failures. That doesn't help someone who's like not mad at you, but everyone says it. Like everyone says that as you're getting into an entrepreneurial thing, and you're like, well, I don't want to fail.
First of all, stop saying entrepreneur.
Whatever the word is.
Stop
starting a business.
Stop saying that bullshit fucking American word that just makes you stand out like a fucking momo. I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, go fuck your mother. We're all somebody's got to be helping us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you want to go into business for yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So you just got to step up to the fucking pump. I've been in business for myself for 30 fucking years. 25 doing comedy. Well, let's just say 25.
Right. Well, okay. So just for your thing, since you said you went back and forth when you were starting comedy, like before you really jumped into it, do you think that time period was your not being sure, like being nervous about jumping into?
Okay, I was talking to Tommy Easter today, my brother Tommy Easter. And we were talking about a delicate subject about him getting a job and why it's important. And I explained to him when I moved here, I thought I was Johnny Bananas too. And I eventually got a job. You know, people say, oh, well, artists don't get jobs. That's great. That's fucking great. Not when you got a coke habit and you got child support and you're fucking trying to live on people's couches and you want to buy a pair of pants at fucking Ross. You know, when you want to do all these things, you need a fucking job.
Right.
Okay? Right now, if I took Tommy East on the road 4 times a fucking month, what would he make? What would he make? If I paid for the plane ticket, he'd make $200 a week at the club. If I threw him an extra 100, it cost him fucking. He get $300 a week. That's $1,200 a fucking month. He's gonna eat $150 while he's on the road. You know what I'm saying? So you can't make a living.
You can't live on $1,200.
You can't make a living. You can't make a living unless you come back and you got $100 gigs during the week because you're at the store, the Improv. You see what they give you at the Improv? A $7 bill. They give you a 5 and 2 singles. At the fucking comedy store, they give you $15. And at the Laugh Factory, they give you $25. But you get the check every fucking 2 weeks. So let's say you do 4 spots. That means you pick up $100 fucking dollars, okay? You can't make a living right now at this situation. You can't get ahead. You can't put away money. So I told him, I go to one of those telemarketing places. They pay $15 an hour on Sunset. Inbound fucking calls. People put ads out in the paper, whatever, and you call this fucking number for a couch, or, you know, when you call the Sleep-Matic bed. You ever watch TV and they have the Sleep-Matic bed?
Right, yeah.
Call us right now in the next 20 seconds. Who do you think you call? Uncle Joey. Hi, how are you? I'm a Sleep-Matic professional. I'm some fucking junkie who can't sleep at night that's going to answer the phone for fucking $12.50 an hour and try to sell you a fucking bed. So I explained to him that there's no stigma in this. That right now at this point in his life, he's living in a van. How long he would have to go on the road for 3 months and not spend a dime to get into a fucking apartment.
Fuck, yeah.
Not spend a dime to get into an apartment in this town. And like I told him, I go, you're not getting into the Taj Mahal. What you're going to do is get a job. There's a plan. And this is the same plan I had. My plan was cut short when my vehicle was towed. You understand me? So now I had to think a little quicker. Thank God I had people like Ralphie May and Josh Wolf that I could sleep on their couch. I always threw them a couple bucks. I always helped them out. You show up with a little fucking weed, and everybody helps each other out. But I moved in with Gavin, and I had to give Gavin rent money, and it was a couch. I had that because it was a couch and a shower. It wasn't the best sleep in the world. I didn't sleep comfortable. It wasn't great for my lumbar, but the fucking options were the street. So it makes your lumbar wakes up fucking perfect. You wake up in tip-top Magoo shape and shit.
Yeah, when it's couch or street.
And then after that, you get a roommate situation. And then after that, you meet a girl and you date and you have a roommate situation. You move in together and you save money. And all along the way, you're making little fucking strides, but you don't even know it. You know, like I told him, I go, if you stay out there one more year, you're going to go home. You're going to go home. You can only live in a fucking car for so long before it starts to bother you. You know, nobody wants to hire you. You pulled up in your fucking apartment. It smells like a shoe in there. You know, there's vomit. There's foot. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Tommy. I lived in that car also. I lived in my car, so I'm speaking from fucking experience here. So there's things that you don't want to do, but you learn how to adjust. You're going to learn along the way, Lee. But for you to always want to fall with somebody, a part of a team, what team are you fucking talking about? What team are you experiencing? What team do you know that you want to be a part of? 3 white dudes that think they're all geniuses and they haven't done dick.
Right, yeah.
They haven't done dick. They haven't done dick. You've been here since day one. You came to me for fucking 3 months ago. You should start your own podcast. You should really start your own podcast. You've been here since day one. 9 offices. 18 different conglomerations, computers, wiring, CDs, boxes, live podcasts, podcast at a coffee shop. You want to name a fucking few? So all these things, they haven't done all these fucking things. So what are they going to say to you at a meeting? When you're sitting there stuttering and sweating and all red from the fucking head, they're talking nonsense, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. How long will that last? What team are you a part of?
Right, but then that's what I'm worried about, though. Is like I'm not a good salesman. That's not my strength.
You're a Jew. It's in your fucking DNA. You just gotta wake it up. Remember you said you went to Israel?
Right,
That the people there would be tremendous salesmen here, that they didn't stop in the street. Tell them what they did to you. They took your wallet.
They take your ID. Yeah.
They took your wallet. They don't stop. You know what, man? That type of persistence is the persistence you need to succeed. If you really think about it. Like, I need to eat today. This motherfucker's coming in here with money in his pocket, and I'm getting it. Think of that mindset. Because that's a mindset you have when you sell cars or vacuums. For you to be really fucking successful. Okay, I learned when I worked in Boulder. Okay, when I learned, this is a great story because the guy's a fucking animal. When I worked in Boulder, I worked with pure fucking sales machines. Normal Lead, Carlos Valverde. These guys could sell you anything. It could be a refrigerator, a computer. I saw it. Marty Sadlow, he's at Frontier Honda now. He's a general manager. That guy could sell you anything.
To anybody.
To anybody, bump you, make you believe you're paying nothing. That he's not making a profit. On the way back to the tower, he's like, go do your paperwork. You're getting $500 for this, plus the 5 spiff. Split it with me for $250. And you're like, I thought you didn't make no money on this. That's how good these guys are. Okay, but there was a guy by the name of Rick Visser. Didn't say much. White dude, hair on the side, buck teeth, 6'4", 2 daughters. Was an engineer or something, an architect, and lost his job at IBM. One of those fucking heartbreak stories from 30 years ago. When
Jesus, yeah.
all those computer plants closed down. He became a Subaru car salesman. But he was different. He wouldn't beat people up. He was a gentleman. He would talk to them. He would take their information, their phone number, and mail them stuff and brochures, and he had a different way of selling you. Okay? Norm Ouellette is gone. He's probably fucking 80 and with a bad kidney. Carlos Valverde's probably getting out of jail. I'm sitting here with you right now talking shit. You know what Rick Visser's doing?
What?
He's still selling Subarus. He works by appointment only. 2 days a week. He's a painter. He paints pictures and sells them. And he probably makes $300,000 a year.
Selling cars.
Selling cars. While everybody else is making $150, working like a dog. Rick Visser works 2 days a week by appointment only. A flat iron Subaru.
So people will call him when they just want to re-up their Subaru.
Because he treated you like you've never been treated before. Once Rick Visser took your name down, you went through an array of systems. When nobody was using a computer, he was using a computer. You got birthday stuff, Christmas cards sent to you, your daughter's birthdays. He knew everything about you. He just didn't sell you one car. He was going to sell you cars, your kid car, your daughter a car, her boyfriend. I mean, it's amazing. I look at that, and I think about that all the time.
Right, yeah.
Okay, how these other guys were great salesmen in their own right, but they were only a part of the small picture. You know, when these guys went to lunch and had a drink, Rick Visser was filling up postcards. You know, Rick Visser would come in at 7:30 when everybody came in at 9 because he talked to the service customers. Okay, what are you doing?
Jesus Christ.
You know what I'm saying, dog? So he worked smarter.
Okay.
All the way through. Because while you got him for $5,000 and you robbed the poor bastard of his car, you're never going to sell him another car. Rick Visser's going to sell that guy 30 fucking cars in his lifetime.
And he'll just call him and make an appointment.
But do you know why? He wasn't a great salesman. He was great with paperwork and follow-up. And he wasn't scared to call you.
That's a good point. So you don't have to be like the prototypical anything. You just have to find a way to make it work for you. That's a good way to do it.
Make it work for you. Everybody's different. I don't ever want... You know what happens when you're part of a team? It gives you a little competition. You know what? Competition's great for you, but sometimes it's bad for you at a certain age. I don't want to worry about what Lee's doing. The only person I worry about is what Joey Diaz is doing.
Right.
That's it. And if you worry about what Joey Diaz is doing, like if I worry about it, I could see I'll make strides with my life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I could see the strides. When I first moved here, Jesus Christ, this guy got a deal. This guy got that. This guy got that. I was always thinking about what I wasn't getting.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about these guys, what they were getting. When I stopped thinking about what they were getting, then I started getting stuff.
Did you have to stop?
This word you keep throwing at me, entrepreneur,
right, is
about state of mind and work and sticking to it.
Consistency, yeah. That's where I have issues.
That is the number one thing that will always kill you. That if I watched all the great comics that I came up with, they were always very consistent. When I was inconsistent, I didn't have anything going on for myself. All the comics that were consistent, they work forever. They do this forever. If I tell you I'm going to do something every Monday at 8, we do it. You know, there's a lot of times I don't fucking feel like my wife was sick tonight. We couldn't have done this tonight. We could have came tomorrow or Friday. Who gives a shit, right, Lee? Just a podcast. And then when it fails, you're mad at the podcast business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a podcast business. It's a fucking racket. No, you didn't put your time into it. You went away from consistency is everything. I have a big problem. I'm too consistent.
How can you be too consistent?
Too consistent is I really don't give a fuck what plans you have.
Yeah.
I really don't give a fuck about your plans. When I came to Los Angeles, I knew I was going into the major league. And I could look you straight in the face and I could say it on this goddamn podcast. Psst. I didn't become a major league fucking comedian until 6 years ago. I can't imagine how un-major league I was when I first fucking got here. But I did something. I stuck to my guns on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I stuck to until today. I do what I do, and I do it. And that's it. I don't give a fuck about what your problem is. I don't give a fuck about what your situation is. I don't give a fuck about what you want to do. I don't give a fuck about your movie. I don't give a fuck about anything. That was the greatest quality I had.
Not giving a fuck?
No. When I get up in the morning, I have a schedule. And unless I don't break that fucking schedule, I don't break it. I don't give a fuck. You know, people offer me shit all the time now, but it's Tuesday in New York, or I gotta do a podcast. I don't give a fuck. You know, I got into comedy part of it, not to have to go to weddings and stupidity on the weekends. That's 60% of it.
60% of
why I got into comedy. Girls? No, because I wanted to be busy. I didn't want to have time for fucking stupidity in my life.
Right, yeah.
Or what I thought was stupidity. For somebody else going to weddings, it's probably a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? You ready for another dose, Lee? It's that type of night.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like you have a choice.
This is bleeding THC right now. Consistency is so fucking important. So fucking important. It kills you. And I saw it kill people in comedy. And that's what made me even more consistent.
How did it kill people? How did being inconsistent kill people?
Right now I got a bad back. And for the last 3 weeks I've had a bad back. And I can't go to jiu-jitsu. It makes me very inconsistent. But it's a true injury that I have. You know, I'm also thinking, if I was your age, I'd be down there. With nothing going on, I'd be down there. But right now, I gotta think of the baby. I think I'm on stage. I can't go on stage fucking walking all crooked because I'm a bad back. Because I want to go to jiu-jitsu or do kettlebells or do deadlifts or whatever the fuck I want. You follow me? Yeah. There's all these fucking things.
You have responsibilities.
I sat here over the years and watched different comedians and watched different people who said they were writers. And I watched their boudoir lifestyle. And I wouldn't do that move. But that's just me. I would never repeat to them that I wouldn't do it.
What were they doing?
In this whole 6 weeks of fucking going on the road and stuff, I gained 3 pounds.
Nice. That's it.
That was really good. I was really impressed with that. When I went to the doctor that morning, and he goes, "You're 303." I was like, what? With the shit I went to New York, the Cuban steak sandwich and everything. But I didn't eat sweets. Like, I just didn't eat sweets, okay?
Okay.
And I stayed pretty consistent.
And you were walking.
And I was walking. I always do something. I'm always doing fucking something. But with a diet, people always go, "Oh, the diet didn't work for me." But no, you didn't let the fucking diet work for you. You know, Weight Watchers is fucking a great diet. I don't give a fuck what people tell you. It took 100 pounds off me eating that shit like that. 1 egg with an English muffin with 2 pieces of bacon and water. You know, all that shit. It taught me that I didn't need French fries. It taught me that I didn't need chips. You know, that you didn't have them. You have a point system. If you stick to this fucking point system, the shit will fall off. It took about 4 weeks for chunks to start falling off. You know what I'm saying? So I could see where people get discouraged.
Right, yeah, oh yeah.
But the same thing happens with comedy. When you have different parts of your career, and there's different things going on when there's different parts of your career. Like Tommy Easter. Tommy Easter will be busy as fuck from Sunday to Thursdays. But Friday and Saturdays becomes a different town. It's a showcase town. So at that level, you're really not busy unless you're a feature act and you're opening up for somebody in fucking the Ice House. You understand what I'm talking about? Even at the Improv, they have 3-man acts. So it's kind of rough. When you live in Seattle or Michigan or D.C., when you're an open micer, you have all this work during the week. But on Fridays and Saturdays, they're prime nights. You're open. You can get a job bartending. And then once you start getting weekend work, you get rid of that work. So pretty much during the week, you work for free. And on the weekends, you get paid for your fucking work.
Oh, God. So you would just bartend on the weekends? Okay.
I wouldn't bartend that.
Right,
I'm just saying you would. I didn't know even to get a job or not to get a job. That's how stupid I was. But if you think now in hindsight, every level along the way, and then it came a point where I was just working weekends. And during the week, yeah, you picked up one nighter for $1.25 or $75 or $65 or whatever the fuck it is. And that all adds into your monthly fucking spew, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. It's tough.
How do you, listen, when you're talking about being scared here, I mean, the biggest fear, the reason why guys like me and other guys, okay, so let's say tomorrow I want to sell real estate, okay?
Right, yeah.
Now, for the last 6 years, I've been, let's give me a fake occupation. I've been selling reefer at that medical marijuana store. I get $12 an hour. I work full time. You know, I'm single. I smoke dope. I go to the gym. I go to concerts, shit like that.
Right.
Okay, now comes one day that my mom, at one of those stupid holidays, sits me down and gives me an ear beating. Joey, you're not a kid no more. You got to think of something serious. Why don't you go sell real estate with your cousin Lee? Now, what do you think happens when you sell real estate the first 6 months?
Not much, yeah, probably.
No, so now, when you sell real estate, which means you go to work for yourself.
Right, yeah.
Which means you're an entrepreneur, whatever that fucking word is. Correct?
Yeah,
it's absolutely the same thing. Mm-hmm. Now, with those jobs, they give you like a base salary, like $500 a month during training for 6 months. You know what $500 a month does for you?
Nothing.
Those are those lunches, gasoline, and your dry cleaning bill.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So how are you going to make a living?
You have to do something else.
You got to do something else, or you got to sell, bitch.
Oh yeah.
So what happens? You get your license. After the first month, you fuck around. How many people you know? Tomorrow, check the stats on real estate licenses.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Compared to how many people are really fucking selling real estate. It's crazy. Everybody's got a real estate license.
Right.
Any fucking moron with a four-door car and a nice suit could sell fucking real estate. I'm not calling you a moron. I'm just telling you that's how simple it is.
Right.
Because I know 1,000 people have real estate licenses. But the people who actually do it. What happens when you get a real estate license? Okay, you go to work for Smith & Smith selling homes. You show 3 or 4 homes. It doesn't work out. It's a 90-day fucking paperwork. You got to do paperwork. Nobody just comes in and goes, I'll buy this house today. Here's an envelope full of cash.
Right, yeah.
And the next day you get a fucking commission. Has to go through banks. And so even if you start selling right off the fucking bat, like let's say now you're moving with Paula, and Paula gets an attorney job, and off the bat she makes $60,000 a year. You tell Paula, listen, when we started dating and you were going to law school, I was paying for all those cheeseburgers and shit. Now you got to take care of Lee. I got to take care of Lee. So for a year, Lee, you're going to go out every day. You know, if you don't sell nothing for 2 months, what are you going to do? You're going to get a fucking job. And then you're going to get that job until it takes over your real estate, and then you're never going to sell real estate again. And you're going to have the excuse that 4 out of fucking 10 people have, 6 out of 10 people have. It was too hard. Nobody's buying. No, you didn't Rick Visser it. You didn't dedicate yourself to it. You know, the reason why comedians get an outside job was because I didn't dedicate myself to it. You know, that much like that. But there's only so much you could do in the beginning. You know, he's been doing comedy for what, 4 years, he said?
Tommy Eastern?
Tommy Eastern.
I think it's like 2 years.
Yeah, I was doing comedy for 6 years here. You know, not in L.A. When I got here, I was doing comedy for maybe 5, 6, 7 years. 6 years.
Okay.
When I basically got here. I was lost. But I booked commercials. And that's what I told Tommy Easter today. You'll get yourself a headshot for $150 and go. And they'll take any. Lee, if you walked in with a headshot tomorrow that's halfway decent and said you do stand-up comedy, any of these agents in the Valley will take you as a commercial client.
Really?
Yep. They have nothing to lose. You're non-union. They have nothing to lose.
Fuck. Yeah, why not? But
now, let's say you go to 3 auditions and you don't get something. Fuck, this sucks. And you get a job painting houses. And I come up to you and go, how was the commercial audition? Now, you know what I did? I went to commercial classes. I never really took a commercial acting class. I'm lying to you, but I took acting classes. After I went to a couple of them and failed, I went to an acting class and got serious about it. And that's when I started making money.
Yeah, yeah. So, but how do you? Because it was really interesting a few minutes ago when you were saying make it work for you. So, how do you make like acting work for you?
Okay, if you're 26, 27 right now, and you live in this fucking town,
right?
There's a lot of work for you.
Okay.
And if you're non-union, there's a lot of work for you. Okay, because they're shooting a lot of non-union shit. That kid from the Ice House, the bald-headed kid, with the dog that we see walking around. He lives across the street there. He's on fire right now. He hasn't stopped working. He shot Masters of the Universe, something else. Right now, there's a lot of work for him. There's a lot of work for that age bracket. You know, that's an interesting age bracket. You know, how many mafia movies they make a year? 2? How many times they're going to call me to be a garbage man or something like that? Then I'm really, unless somebody sees me as a co-star or somebody's fucking sidekick, I get dick. But a good-looking 28-year-old with a nice body and shit, right now you're getting work, brother. You know, so you got 2 options. You could either be one of those fucking morons that goes to the Standard every night and talks about his scenes, or you could be the guy that stays in every night and goes over movies and goes to acting class once a week or twice a week and learns his trade and just learns how to fucking work, okay? How do you get to work, Lee?
I drive.
No, you fucking Momo. How do you get to work? How do you get things in motion, okay?
Oh.
Okay, how do you get things in motion? There's no motion going on in your life right now.
Right.
You know what? I think I want to do podcasts. You find out, you come up to the Comedy Store, you come up to Joey Diaz and you go, hey, man, you think I could come in and sit down with you guys one day? I mean, I'm going to say no, you're a fucking lunatic. But you never know. You never know who you speak to. You know, Cassius Morris. You may talk to Tom Segura. You may talk to somebody, okay? And what do? You come in here for a few weeks. And you shut up. And then we like you. And you go, listen, what if I brought a fucking $20 bag of weed? Do you guys mind if I come here on Mondays and Wednesdays and sit here with you? And eventually one day you're going to say something funny. We're going to give you a mic. Then you're going to keep coming. You're going to keep coming. You're going to keep saying funny as shit. You're going to learn when to talk and when not to talk. You're not going to be obnoxious. And you know what? One day we're going to go, just sit in. And there you have it. And after 6 months, 9 months, somebody comes to you and go, dog, we're going to give you like fucking $300 a week to come in here twice a week. And all of a sudden you made yourself part of something.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I learned if you want a job, when I was your age, or if I wanted a job in construction, you went over and said, let me work for free for a day. If you don't like how I work, don't pay me and don't hire me. I'll go home. My feelings won't be hurt. And you work. Some people do it for a fucking week.
Fuck that. Not a lot of people are willing to do that now.
How many fucking, if you let this town intern you to death,
right?
How many fucking places do you think? I guarantee there's places here that'll make you work like a fucking slave and call you a fucking intern.
Yeah, that's the whole
thing. You know I'm fucking not lying to you.
No, that's the whole point.
That's the whole fucking, and they'll do it with no future. Like, there's no way I'm giving you a job. You're not even in the budget. You'll never be in the budget.
Right.
But they'll make you come in here and just do it. You know what? But there's a way you get a job at that place. If you work harder than the other guy. If you do more than that fucking milk. You pick a guy in that office and go, you know what? I ain't this guy, I ain't this guy, I ain't this guy. But I can fuck this motherfucker up right here. Watch me go to work, bitch. Then you earn a job.
Yeah, you have to be good, but I just meant like, fuck, that's, never mind, I was high for a second. That's fucked up working for free though. Do you think people would still do that?
Fuck yeah, especially in this industry. Especially in this fucking industry. I worked on movies where the fucking camera guys and shit are free, the helpers.
That's true.
Learning the fucking trade, and you look at it and go, Jesus Christ. But they love it. If this is what you want to do, if you want to be that director, if you want to be that top lighting guy, if you want to be that top editor, obviously that's what you got to fucking do, Lee. Because if that's a desire you have, you'll do it.
Right, yeah. When I came here, I was working for free all over the place. But then it's hard for my type of personality, going back to making it work for you. I would get nervous about going to the places where I work for free and now asking for money. Like, it's hard. Like, that's a fucked up situation to be in.
Well, before you do it, there also has to be, there's ways to do it. I mean, there's ways to do it. And there's ways to come into a place. I used the podcast place as like a radio place. I knew a lot of guys that got into radio by just showing up at a radio station, somebody inviting them in, and them going and sitting and sitting and sitting. And one day while I'm talking, they write something on a piece of paper and give it to you. And then another week, they write something again. And it's pretty interesting what this guy writes on a piece of paper. And eventually, boom. You know, John Cutler is a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Amy on Facebook and Twitter. John sends me messages and shit. Sometimes when he sends them from his Hotmail, they go direct. When he sends them from this fucking phone number, they go through that shit. The
Facebook or something?
Yeah, no. When you send the fucking thing to my email from a phone number,
oh, right.
it goes into junk or some shit, so I don't see him till like a year later. But it's funny. He told me a story about how he met Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead. That he went to see a gig, and he saw Jerry walk, and he goes, "Hey, this thing that you have didn't sound right tonight." Because it didn't. He goes, "Yeah, come on, let's go take a look at it." It's like if I bump into you down the street, or you were listening to the podcast, and something's wrong with the volume, and I go, "Let's go take a look at it." And all of a sudden, they became friends. You know, and he started showing up and tuning his guitars and blah, 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 blah. And one fucking day, I think he's a producer on Touch of Grey or something.
Holy shit. Yeah, just being there. Because that's the problem with a lot of job postings online. You always hear people like, I don't even think my resume is getting seen. So like that's, if you're there, we've talked about it before, but that's the issue.
It's you have to create opportunities for yourself. And I haven't answered your question. I have not answered your question about you have what it takes, Lee, to go out there and start this podcast thing. It's going to be a little sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little bit of work, you know. But you could pull this off. The idea we discussed, I think this could franchise. Like as dumb as listen, okay, we were talking about something a while ago. 20 years ago. Remember we were talking about Boston Market.
Right, yeah.
The lines around Boston Market. There was 3,000 Boston Markets, correct?
Yeah,
I don't know what the amount was. I could be exaggerating. And all of a sudden, after the chicken crazy, after the $14 chicken frenzy went over, because pretty soon supermarkets were like, $14 for a chicken. We'll sell these motherfuckers for $6. And that was the end of Boston Market. People said no more Boston Market for $14. Because at first, Boston Market would hit you. And everybody was like, the chicken's delicious. Then once everybody caught on, then they started giving you those chickens that get kicked, and they kick them in the head and shit. Those chickens now are horrible. You go to Boston Market now, that chicken's depressed as fuck.
I haven't been in years.
Oh, I got to go every fucking Friday if I'm in town. Because Mercy likes it. She likes the mac and cheese from there. She likes the whole experience. She kicks the fucking door, the whole thing. So I get stuck with that fucking chicken cutlets or the chicken or the meatloaf I had to stop eating.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's just a horror show. The fucking pork ribs. I even pulled the Lee and ordered the pork ribs one night. And I took a bite out of them, and then something made me turn them over, and it looked like somebody spray painted them. And I was like, "That's it. I ain't eating this shit no more."
I'm surprised you let her eat the mac and cheese. That's my least favorite mac and cheese.
Listen, I don't even like fucking mac and cheese. How old are we now? After you're fucking 20, you don't eat mac and cheese no more. Unless now they got like lobster mac and cheese, and you go out to your friends and they dope it up. But you're not gonna eat mac and cheese out of a box. I hope not. With that Stugatz cheddar fucking thing.
I'd rather eat that than the Boston Market mac and cheese.
Listen, I'd rather not eat none of them. Why can't you avoid all that cancer?
I haven't had mac and cheese for a while.
I can just tell. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell you're sad about it.
I am. I like that purple box, Auntie Anne's. Whatever.
No, your whole fucking entrepreneur shit has got to just go for it. Go for it. Cut this shit and go for it.
Fuck, yeah.
I know you, first of all, you're going to spend $82,000 too much.
Yep.
Okay, you're going to go to these places and say, A, you need foot traffic. Right now what you need is half and half. Because you don't need foot traffic. Who's going to be walking down the street going, oh my God, I'm in the mood to do a podcast.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. And it's just a lot of money. It's money. Like we were talking a while ago, and I was getting too Shark Tank in it. And it was like percentages, and I have to write a business plan. Like it's something that I've never done before. So I'm scared, and I don't run towards it like you do. I run away from it. So it's just.
I went to a meeting yesterday, and we had to pitch something.
Okay.
And I've known this kid for a while. He's a kid from Newark, very interesting kid. And our buddy Matt Lotman was there. You know, Matt Lotman's an interesting cat. And I guess 2 guys from Matt Lotman's office were there. You know, the other 2 guys are very nice guys. And we were talking. And it's weird when you're trying to sell a show. Okay, because every show and movie you watch starts a certain way. But then they do things to it to make it sellable.
Right, absolutely.
To make it into a movie. Like if you go into, like whenever I watch the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and he plays with Jack Nicholson, The Departed.
Oh yeah, that's
I always think that girl was just put in there for a reason. Like after the movie was written, they put her in there for a love interest. There always has to be a love interest, you know. In today's television world, now they're talking about you have to have enough black people. You have to have enough Spanish people. You have to have enough Asian people on the show. So if you have to have 12 people on a show, it has to break down so it's watchable by the network standards. Did you know that? So if you come in and Lee's white, by the end of the fucking pilot, Lee might be fucking Hindu. Because they need a certain amount of Indians.
Diversity,
diversity to make a show work. Which I don't like. I think the show should come out the way you wanted to fucking write it. You know what I'm saying? I could care less about the other shit. If it calls for a black guy, then put the fucking black guy in. If you grew up an Armenian, then write the fucking character Armenian. That's what I feel.
But yeah, but they, with movies, with everything in this town, they just...
Right, but they always have to have a female fucking thing in there, the whole thing, the love story. And sometimes it's great, but sometimes it fucking ruins it. I don't know what my point was. What was the fucking point of this fucking
I'm not, to be honest with you, after that last edible, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. But you always have to dress something up to sell it.
Right, absolutely. Oh, yeah, we're selling a show.
And it's crazy that these 2 guys are a lot more experienced than everybody else at the table. And they were making ideas, and their ideas were great. But I always knew to sell this particular show that these gentlemen wanted to sell, it was more of a character-driven show. This show's going to be sold by the friends to this fucking guy. And the characters in his world. The characters in this guy's world are beautiful. At the end, we asked for notes, and that's the note they gave us. The characters. And on the way home, I thought about instincts. Like, sometimes you write stuff as a writer, but sometimes I do stuff by instincts. And sometimes instincts is a lot better. You know, let your instincts be natural with whatever fucking thing you want to do. Think it over. I gotta be honest with you. I was watching this show named Celia on Netflix.
Okay.
About Celia Cruz. It's 80 episodes. It's not the best television I've ever seen in my life. It's not Academy Award winning, but it's got to do with Cuban stuff. So if I'm not just sitting there, this week I've just been trying to take the shit out of my head. You know what I'm saying? Try to take the old jokes out of my head, the old way of thinking.
Oh, interesting.
So I just want to be a family this week. This week I just wanted to not do anything. Sometimes it called your time, your life. I wouldn't think this way when I was your age, because I always thought I had to get ahead and kill somebody. But now, for me to, like, you know, listen, bro, this started in July, and then we had the move, and then we had the fucking jiu-jitsu, the blue belt, and then we had the fucking, you know, Mercy with this, and then we had Melrose, Austin, New York, Oddball,
Ohio,
Columbus, and Chicago. You know, it's just a lot of shit happened. That was 6 weeks of planes. There was a lot of shit happening, Lee. And I knew 2 weeks ago, I said, once the special's done, I'm done. I'm done for 5 days. What does that mean? That's why I went to the doctor with my wife today. You think I wanted to go to the doctor with my wife today? Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking retarded? But every time I go to the doctor, my wife is like, not really. Like when I go to get blood and all that shit, she doesn't go with me. But for the surgeries and stuff, my wife is there. You know, even though she made plans, she'll go, no, I wanted to be here with you. So I went with her today, and we went and got, I don't know, something to eat after. I don't even know where the fuck we went. We went and got a muffin and a coffee or something. We went and got to look at where the fuck did we go? We went somewhere, and then we just went home. And, we went to Jerry's Deli.
Oh, nice.
I got the chicken soup. You know, the chicken soup when you're sick is
Matzo
good.
ball soup?
Yeah, and I got the chicken and rice, and it was fucking... You want to get a sandwich? Then you go, no, not really. After I went there with you that time, I was like, I'm not getting no fucking sandwich here. So I just had the bowl of soup, and we both went home, went to sleep. I took the whatever Tammy flew, and I took a fucking nap too. And on the way, I go, why did I go with my wife today? I could have wrote for 2 hours. No, I needed to do that. I needed to get back to normal. I'm a family guy. I'm a part of a family. I'm not only a stand-up comedian. So anyway, back to fucking Celia. I'm watching this Celia thing about this Cuban girl. They're talking about dreams. What's her dream? And this is opportunity. She goes to see this band. And the singer of the band, who's a popular woman, a Puerto Rican woman in a band in Cuba, the biggest band in Cuba.
Okay.
That same night, she finds out she's pregnant. So you already see where the story was going. Celia Cruz is a tremendous fucking singer. The only reason they won't let her sing is because she's dark-skinned.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Cuban was very racist in the 50s and shit. They're more racist than here, those fucking
I didn't know that.
motherfuckers. Yeah. Cubans are racist motherfuckers, dog. So, she kept talking about a dream. And I'm like, what? You know, yeah, I've had dreams before, but my dreams are completely unfucking... You know, when I was a kid, my dreams were just stupid. Like, stupid.
Why were they stupid?
Because I just wanted to be a nothing. I wanted to end up being a dude who bought people drinks and pulled up with a Maserati, and he was a cool dude. That's garbage. I didn't want to be an astronaut, a construction guy or nothing. I wanted to be like Johnny Hollywood or something for years until I went to jail. And that the Johnny Hollywood image faded fucking fast, you know. But they're talking about dreams and shit. And sometimes everything happens fast. You know, different opportunities. You're there at the right place at the right time. You and I were there at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a camera from fucking Gabriel. You contacted me. We took films. Everything worked out very organically. You did it all the right way. You had all the right instincts. So go with it again. Don't be a fucking pussy. Stop thinking about shit. But I want you to think about something.
Okay.
And this is the most important thing that people don't do. I want you to break it down from east to west and north to south. Even if you have to get a notebook to break it down. As dumb and coked out as I was in 1995, it's called like a Jefferson close or a Jackson close or a Lincoln close. Somebody's going to correct me on this. Where you take a sheet of paper, or a Washington close.
Okay.
You take a sheet of paper and you put a line right down the sheet of paper.
Okay.
And you write down the positive and the negative. And you take that situation and you write down the positive and you write down the negatives and you look at them together. And that's what I did before. Before I left Jackie, like, after I went to court in 1995 and went at it with my wife in court and we yelled at each other the whole way to the car. And then, you know, I actually smacked the fucking guy, and then 2 weeks later I'm in my fucking apartment thinking, you know, where the fuck am I going with my life? What am I doing? I'm arguing with these people to see a fucking 4-year-old kid that, in the end of the day, I'm her father, but I have nothing to offer her except love and bad fucking advice at this point in my life. That's all I had to offer. And I had to be honest. That's the most important thing about those things with the piece of paper, that you have to write it down honestly so you could see it and see how it affects you then. A thought and a piece of paper, a written thing on a piece of paper and a thought is two different things, Lee. When I tell you a story on how I kidnapped Bella and we giggle here and you think it's cute, it's cute. When I write that story down and hand to you and read it and you read it, it's going to hit you a little differently. It's going to hit you a little differently. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's going to hit you differently. Fuck.
So
how hard is it? But some people like to have inflated views of themselves. If you're doing a pro and con list, like...
If you have an inflated view of yourself or you have an unrealistic fucking view of yourself, this is not going to work because you're never going to write the truth on that piece of paper.
But do you think those people know? Like, what if I have an
Everybody
inflated
knows.
view?
Everybody fucking knows. You know your shortcomings and you know what you excel at. Everybody fucking knows their shortcomings. Everybody, you know if you got an inch dick, okay? Only
Right,
3
yeah.
chicks might know, but you know that you got an inch dick.
Let's keep it
Do,
down.
do you tell people? No, you don't fucking tell nobody, okay?
Right.
It's the same way with our shortcomings. And we all know what your fucking shortcomings are. That's what pisses me off the most about this. That every fucking step along the way, I looked at myself in that fucking mirror, whether it was coked up or not, and go, this is what I got going on, and this is what I don't have going on. Now, what are we going to do to have it going on with the little we have going on?
Yeah, fuck.
Do you follow me? And I still do this shit. I still do this shit. You know, when I talk to somebody about management, for example, and I tell them, listen, this is not going to be me calling you up, telling you I want to be on Letterman or Leno or Kimmel, I'm sorry, or fucking the other dude. This is not Joey Diaz calling you up at 1 in the morning and saying, hey, how come I don't have a show on HBO? Because I understand that. I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm going to hit you up with things that are realistic for my realm. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm never going to call you. If you call me and go, Joey, there's a new fucking Will Ferrell movie. And the guy opposite him has to be Italian but good looking. Do you think I'm going to call? I'm going to try to get on there because I know I'm good looking. I know I'm funny. I may not be good looking, but the good looking guys you're looking at may not be fucking funny. Or Will Ferrell's just insecure and he doesn't want somebody really funny next to him. But either way, I'm going to fucking give it a shot.
Right. But you're not gonna be like upset if you don't like. What are you saying, like, that you know?
I'll never ask you for something outside my realm.
Okay,
whether you're my manager or not, I'm never going to come to you and go, listen, I want 13 episodes on ABC about me fucking chicks in the ass. That's not going to work. I know that's a fucking far-fetched for you. I'll tell you what I do expect pretty soon. 6 episodes on a TV show as a reoccurring fucking garbage man or a painter or something. That's not out of my realm. I got the resume to cover that. Do I not?
No, you do. So okay.
Okay, that's what I'm saying to you. I've always been one of those guys. You know, I could call my agents tomorrow and go, listen, I want to do a theater tour. Joey, I'll cover it. I want to do a 2,200-seat theater tour. Excuse me, in every fucking city. Now, I know that's unrealistic. And guess what? I wouldn't want to do it. That's a lot of fucking work. But I'm the type of guy that'll call you and go, I can handle fucking 6 shows in Jersey. Bring it on.
Okay.
I'll never, I know what I can cover and what you can't cover. And that's the most important thing about yourself in every fucking level of this game. As young comics, we'll say we can cover something even if we can't cover it. Hey man, I need a 20-minute spot. You got 20 minutes? Yeah. You really got 12, and that's fucking stretching it. That's talking like you're half retarded, like you got hit in the head with a brick. My name is Lee. That's 12 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And we all lie about little things like that. I lied about all that shit. Yeah, you got 20 minutes? Yeah, I got 20 minutes. You only got fucking 13. And that's with a fucking rock in your pocket. You'll have 20 if something interesting happens or something like that. Why are you looking at me like I borrowed $20 from you, Lee?
Maybe you did. I don't know. No, I'm just trying to relate back to what you said. Do you know your shortcomings now because of failures? Like because of saying yes when you shouldn't have said yes?
Listen, man. By the time you're fucking 25, you have a good idea. You're not going to come to me and go, Joey, you know what? I'm quitting the podcast game to become an automobile mechanic.
Those words will never come out of my mouth.
No. But you're going to say shit that you're going to want to do. When I was snorting all that coke and shit and I was looking for a fucking life, do you think I was sitting there? I got to straighten out my underwear.
Okay.
Do you think I was fucking sitting there going, I want to be a fucking flight attendant or something like that?
No.
Do you think I was telling people? No. And that's the problem you have, especially here. You have these people that come up to you, I'm a director. Not in my fucking world, you're not, bitch. Not in my fucking world, you're not. Just because they sell a camera for $8.99 at fucking True Value doesn't mean you're a fucking director.
No.
Let me see your fucking work. Well, I did a flick in college and it won second place. And then me and my friends shot a short. Come to me after you do 4 years behind fucking Tarantino holding a wire.
Right. So, yeah, you have to have experience, absolutely. And it happens with everything. It happens with comedians who you've seen, like, go up and like, isn't that the thing? People always get mad at, like, TV sitcom actors for trying to do stand-up.
Sometimes, like Saturday Night Live guys or something trying to do stand-up, and they've been doing improv, and they go in there. Listen, man, I'm real proud of that guy from fucking those dudes that jumped off buildings and shit.
Oh, Steve-O.
Steve-O's still at it, and he loves it, and he still fucking does shows, and you got to give him all the respect in the world because he stuck with it. This wasn't a pipe dream for him that his agent go, hey, if you need money, put together 45 minutes and go out there and bore fucking people to death. and tell them about your fucking, how much money you make, and tell them about your TV show and how you hate it working with your co-star. Do that for 45 minutes. I'll get you $10,000 a week. And they'll do it for 6 weeks, and you'll never hear from them again. Steve-O at least stuck it out. Steve-O was the real dude. Got a Showtime special and everything. He didn't fuck around, Steve-O. So you got to hand it to him there.
Right. It's not like the Charlie Sheen tour that ended after like 3 weeks and people were walking out.
Lee, you got the world by the balls, and everybody who listens to this show. You have the fucking world by the balls, and a lot of us don't even know it. I didn't know it for a long time. For 10 years, I walked around out here not knowing what was going on. I was doing stand-up, and I was doing some work, but I wasn't doing what I should have been fucking doing. If I should have been doing what I should have been doing, you and I would have been in a different realm right now. But you move on, you live, and you fucking learn. Yeah, you know what you're strong in. There's things I would never ask you to do, Lee. There's things I would never ask you to do. But like when we did the documentary, I knew you could pull that off. A fucking moron could. It's not an Academy Award winner. We're not going for an Academy Award winner. We're just showing them little fucking scenes. And you're an editor. You shoot the camera, you press the button, and you put it together. The best that you can do it. That's it. I knew you could do that. Would we shoot a fucking movie? Would I use you? Fuck no.
No, yeah.
Like if somebody gave us $300,000, we're like, oh, Lee Syatt's going to direct it because he's the director from Israel. No, I'd be shooting myself in the foot.
How dare you?
You know, I'd be giving you $10,000 and keeping 30 to make money on the fucking deal, and the 40 should go to a real fucking director.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's how I like to do it. Whenever I do any of this dumb shit, I don't fucking just do it. I go to the expert and I learn how the fuck to do it. I'll pay the fucking $10 and they teach you how to do this correctly, so I don't have to come back at this shit later on.
Right.
If you don't do it right the fucking now, then later on, I could do this. There's shit you could do and there's shit you can't do. I told you 1,000 times today, I could quit fucking comedy right now. Quit comedy. Quit this fucking podcast and go to a company and go, listen, I want your social media, and if your company does a podcast, I want to be a part of it. And this is what I could do. This is how I'm going to do it. I could do that right now. With the experience I've gained the last 6 years fucking around with you and social media and iTunes and learning the fucking trends and when to tweet, when not to tweet, I could do this right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Did somebody teach me this? Fuck no. Could somebody teach me this? Fuck no. I did it.
You learned yourself.
I learned by trial and fucking error. I learned doing little fucking things, saying lewd things on twits and shit like that nobody else is saying. But guess what? They were looking at my twit, stupid. And that's the point of this fucking game, you dumb motherfucker. So meanwhile, you want to be Joe Christian with your safe little fucking tweet. You ain't getting nowhere. You ain't getting nowhere. Is that tweet, when I put a tweet out there about eating Mrs. Obama's asshole with that black ink on her ass, do you think I mean that shit? No, but it got your motherfucking attention. The next tweet I put after that, you will see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will see it. That's such a right hand over the top. You will see the photo. That's such a great left jab that you'll see that right coming over the fucking top. So and that makes no sense. You don't want to see the right coming over the top, but you see it, you know. And I learned this. I think that people who went to college for 4 years and are running these big corporations would disagree with me. I beg to fucking differ right now. If I had a product right now, I'd be having videos. I'd pull my television budgeting to half and just go on a YouTube interviewing thing and hire great social media people with my emphasis on Instagram. And hire a comedic writer to write on the tweet and spend that money instead on that to get business.
And you
because
think it would be more?
Everybody's on the fucking computer.
Yeah.
And with all the TV there is, all the Roku, we speed through all that commercial now. Commercials are dead. And TV knows this. It's a matter of fucking years.
It's dead, but here's the fucked up thing. We've been praying for years for like pay-as-you-go channels, and now CBS and all those people have pay-as-you-go apps. So they're getting, I guarantee in a few years they're going to get rid of the free like CBS and NBC and all that stuff. But it's, I think you could. I think there's a lot of people who have like social media expert jobs now.
And they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Not
they
at
don't have
all.
a clue. Not a clue. I'll challenge them all because what you could do on Twitter is completely different than what you could do on Instagram or Facebook.
It's all different audiences. It's not.
So, you follow me? You could be a little bit more risque with your product on one than the other. And nobody would know the difference. People would say, did you see that ad for fucking Joey Diaz's ball wash? Let me give some fucking shout-outs here. Paul Lynch, my man, the Lalingus family out of Chicago, who I love. Ookie Spooky, Will Cook, Ray Majewski, Dante Gazzini, that letter-writing fucking savage, Bobby and Crystal, the queen down there in Austin, Texas, always, and my main man, Mikey Stein, One by One podcast, shoot motherfuckers down one by one. You know, that word you use, entrepreneur, the reason why I fucking hate that word is because it scares people. Okay? You know what entrepreneur means? Work hard for yourself. That's all that means. Work hard for yourself. One of the most interesting fucking guys I met out here the last 10 years was a dude I don't see no more. His name was Bob. And Bob was a dude that was clean and sober. But Bob has an interesting fucking story, okay? Bob was on drugs, smoked crack, didn't have no teeth.
Fuck.
You know? And I think when he was 50, he decided to get his life together. And the rehab they put him in, the program he got into, was like an hour away from where he got a job. So he had to take a bus there. So he would take a bus every fucking day there. Every day, a bus there and back. And he went from making $8 an hour to 12 to 16. Then he became a closer, and he was selling duct tape on the phone. Duct tape. And he became one of the top closers. $40,000 a year, $60,000 a year. They gave him his own office. You know, this is like a rags to riches story. It gets better. He quit the fucking company and then opened up his own tape company in his garage.
In his 50s.
In his 50s. By this time, he was like 57, 58. And he was selling tape out of his fucking garage on the phone. Just fucking selling. He's an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He got sick and tired for working for somebody. So he took his garage and he got a phone line out there and he started calling people and sending boxes out of there. He started doing so well that the neighbors started complaining because of all the shipments of tape that he was getting put with high-lows and shit in front of his house for 2 or 3 days, then getting sent out. So he had no credit from all those years of being a crack hoe. So the landlord would only rent him the space if he came up with $100,000 cash, like a certified check. So he made a $10,000 deposit, and he told the guy he would be back in 90 days. And for 90 days, he made $100,000.
Holy
and he went
shit.
back and he got into the office for a fucking year, this little warehouse, and then he went to work. Make a long story short, fucking 3M bought him out. One of those tape companies bought him out, and they gave him like $6 million, $8 million. I went to his house. They shot a movie up there, like a short film. And I played one of the guys, and I went up there, and the fucking house is beautiful. Everything. The guy had changed his life. He showed me all his fucking paperwork from all those years and stuff.
From tape. Jesus Christ.
Duct tape. All right? Now, he was an entrepreneur. You know? So you do what you do, and you handle it. Like, they just put such a big fucking fear into people.
Yeah.
That they can't do anything. And you know what? You learn as you go along. And you make it work for you. This comedy shit, I went as I went along. And I learned from people like Bobby Slayton and Jimmy Schubert and Joe Rogan and Carlos Mencia. And I watched what they did on the road. I watched what Gabriel does on the road today. I watch what Sebastian does on the road. And they all do something that works for you. And you take that ideology. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I first met Rogan, we all got on a plane there and we all got on a plane back. And that was great. But one day I started thinking about it. I'm like, first of all, why are we going in the night before? Like let's say we had to be there Wednesday at 8 for the first show. We would leave here Tuesday night at 1 in the fucking afternoon to get in there at 6 for dinner. Rent a car. That's another hour at the fucking airport. Get to the hotel with 4 of us. Get upstairs. You know, it was just so much fucking... And you don't know. You're just having a good time. But then you're like, wait a second. Something has to be done here. All right, let's get rid of that Tuesday night flight. Okay, let's get rid of that Tuesday night flight. Let's take the Wednesday fucking early in the morning. One more day at home. Okay? We started taking that flight. That started working. And then on Sundays, instead of getting up at 10, hungover, and having a breakfast, and going to the airport at 2, then your flight's delayed till 4:40, then you get into LAX at fucking 8 o'clock at night. Have you ever landed at LAX at 8 o'clock at night?
Terrible.
Jesus fucking Christ. And your luggage isn't coming for 45 fucking minutes. So guess what? That day of flying became the whole day. One day you look at yourself and you know what? What happens if I leave on the first flight? And you get to LAX and it's 10 and it's empty and there's cabs and people are waving and the 405 is empty. Wow, I just saved. You know what I'm saying, Lee? You just learn little tricks along the way. For years, they told you got to stay at that hotel there. And it's 30 minutes from the hotel, from the club. And one day you realize, fuck you. You're paying for that hotel a rate. Give me the rate and let me find my own hotel. And there's a hotel right around the corner from the club that has breakfast in it for free. And they give you a shuttle ride to the airport. And you can walk to the comedy club. You can leave the fucking you can leave the hotel at 7:45 and get to the comedy club by 10 to 8. You learn all these things. You learn about,
how to make your life easier.
We went on a flight last week, you and I. On the way down there, the guy made us pay for both. He charged you for your luggage. Now, I'm platinum. Even if I don't fly first class, I get 2 bags for free. The chick charged you.
Right, yeah, she did.
On the way back, we both gave the guys the IDs, and I gave him a $20 fucking bill. And what did he do?
He turned it back.
He took your bag, didn't charge us the 25.
Right, yeah.
When he came back, I said, give him the 20 difference. He would have made 40 on us, and he'd remember us forever. He didn't take your 20.
Oh, I didn't know you gave him a 22.
What the fuck you think you're dealing with?
Oh, yeah,
dog?
he didn't take my 20.
No, I gave him a 20 for me.
Oh.
But I gave him a 20 for me and gave him both fucking IDs.
Oh.
Okay, now, you and Paula would have walked in and stood online like Mama Luke's for an hour and a half and then gone through security.
Not anymore.
No, now you see that. A 20, and that's it. You move like a fucking soldier through that airport. You following me?
Yeah.
Did I know that when I was first flying? No, I'd stand in the airport with the other assholes and tap my knees against each other. For the extra 20, you fucking go right at the gate and bam, you walk in like a doctor.
And I bet there's a lot of people who don't even pay the extra 20 for that. They probably stiff them.
No, there's a lot of people give them $5 or 10. That works too. But you know, there's a black dude at Kennedy Airport that walks you through security. Did you know that? He walks you past the fucking line.
Is it?
To the front, right? Then he goes, what's up, Jerry? This is my dog, Joey. Get in there. For $20.
That's all it costs is $20?
$20.
I would totally do that.
He gets you, checks your bag, and then goes, come on. And he walks you right to the front of the fucking line. And he cuts everybody off like a stewardess. You ever been on a line and the fucking stewardess walks and she cuts right in front of you?
Oh, yeah.
He cuts right in front of you.
And do people get pissed off at you?
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm walking in with this 6'4" fucking black dude. What do you got to offer? You know what I'm saying?
Remember when I cut the line on the way to fucking, was it Chicago, I think?
Oh, yeah, you got right in the line. Nobody said shit.
No, they said something.
Who said?
Something, the girl, the stewardess or the gate agent and like a woman behind me. Because you like we were together and I was high and I turned around and they must have called your thing and you just took off. And I froze for a second.
Well, I don't play games. Yeah. Then you did cut her off. That's right. Yeah. When I turned around, I said he was with me. I said, well, we're flying together.
Jesus Christ. You just took off.
I think the most important thing why I did this podcast, one of the things I wanted to get out there was that the society, one of the biggest, besides your family, You know, your family always supports you. Your friends don't support you. They break your balls about whatever you want to do. But everything else points to you for failure. And if I would have believed any of that failure, I would have done nothing with my life. Nothing with my life. I never believed it. I never believed it. Just how a carpenter gets better by overcoming objections, and, you know, a plumber gets better, an electrician comes in and goes, oh my God, I didn't know about this wall before we put the bid in. All that shit, that experience, I think that we have that. But at times we're scared to fucking use it. The purpose of this podcast was to prove to people that they were lying to us in every single aspect. From going to college, to trying to get off drugs, to do something with your life once you get off prison, to go for something you believed in. When I first saw The Sides for The Longest Yard, I didn't give a fuck. I was getting that movie. Even if I had to kill whoever got it the week before, run them over with a car on the Wilshire Boulevard, like Tupac or Biggie. That was it. I knew I was getting this fucking movie. That was it, Lee. In my mind, I'm like, I'm getting this shit. So this is what this podcast is about. It's not about anything fucking else. It's about letting you know that you want to be an entrepreneur, whatever the fuck the word is.
Right.
You can do it. I don't give a fuck what objection they tell you. Your job is to find the way. Plain and fucking simple. Just find the fucking way. You know, I wasn't ready for LA when I came here. I'll tell everybody on this fucking podcast. As a comedian, as a human being, I wasn't ready for LA when I got here. But I stepped up once I got here. Once I got here, something made me get into the Comedy Store and these other places. And I was on the drugs for a long time, but I kept moving. I didn't let the drugs take me down. The drugs were part of who I was. It wasn't who I was. Do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't at home shooting and hanging out with degenerates. I was just a closet fucking functioning addict, as they call it, I guess. That's all. He's a functioning addict. What that means is I snorted coke and still slung dick. Okay? That's what that fucking meant. So that's it. That's it, and that's that. That's what the podcast is about.
Yeah, because they scare you. They make everything so hard. They make everything so expensive.
Whether it's in college, whether it's in life, there's always people telling you that it's going to be tough, the decision you're going to make. And you know what, man? It's as tough as you fucking let it. Your mind overcomes all that shit. You look at it just another fucking day to doing business. It's so weirdly. You just look at it as just another day of doing fucking business. So it was tough for me. It was tough for me in Seattle, in that fucking office I slept in and shit out the window. It was tough for me when I first got here. I lived with Stanhope. You know, I lived with a girl in a fucking trailer. But I knew it was what I wanted to do. And I knew it was all I had, and I had to go for it. I didn't have time to dick around. The last thing I wanted to do was fucking fail and have to go back to Jersey or Boulder and say, I tried LA. You have to be a gay guy to live there and suck people's dick. No, you don't. You just got to get up in the fucking morning and go for it. And there's got to be no waste in your fucking day. And everything that you're going to do has to be worth it from A to Z. There's no waste in your day, regardless of what's going on. That's the other thing that we fall for. That's where the consistency comes in. That you don't give a fuck what's going on. This is what you're doing today. This is what I'm doing today. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I got to take it through a Dodge again. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is what we have to do today.
It's 100%. It's 100 degrees. I thought we could go to the beach. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I got an agenda, and this is what I need to do every fucking day to get to where I need to go. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who told you to whatever? This is what I do. It's so weird. That's the hardest thing. And that goes for girlfriends, friends, family members. You know, your mom calls you. Hi, Lee. It's Mom. I'm going to come out there Wednesday the 21st and you're like, Mom, looking at my book, it's not a good time. You could stay here, but I can't go to politically correct with you. I can't go eat with, you know, and they look at you wrong, but you explain to them and you tell them the truth. It's not like you're banging some chick in the ass and you're hanging out with somebody else. It's the truth. And you find, you know, you take 2 hours from one day, you get up 2 hours earlier and you sacrifice. These are the things that And, dog, it killed my relationship with the stripper. Because her family would always come out here. And I didn't give a fuck about her family. It had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me.
You were a comedian.
Yeah, and she's one of those people that likes to have dinner parties and tell people, let's meet at a restaurant. And then you got to sit there for 2 hours at a restaurant talking shit. You know me, we get the fuck out of there, right or wrong. Yeah, when was the last time we lurked at a fucking restaurant?
Never.
We're eating the dessert and the guy's already got our credit card. Like, we're out of here. I don't want to fucking sit there and talk like we're friends and shit for 8 hours. Ain't nothing to talk about. So I couldn't live like that. She got pissed off at me. That's why we broke up. That was one of the reasons.
Really? Towards the end, that was
No, and if you ask Terry, next time me and you and Terry are together and we'll put together, we'll go, Dom on his first 4 years. I didn't give a fuck. This is what I do. We don't have time to fuck around. You want a life, I want a life. You think if we fuck around, we're going to have a life? What do you think houses cost? Cars. What do you think fucking... All this shit costs money. This is what you need, right? To have a good time. For us to have a good time, we need cash. But let's do this. Let's sacrifice 2 fucking years. Don't come home. Work till your face is fucking purple. Saturdays, get in there and work for overtime. I don't give a fuck. And you sacrifice for 1 or 2 years. And all that shit you want, eventually you can have. And that's at any fucking level. And that's what I did with comedy. I didn't give a fuck about your party. When I first got here, till this day, I've never gone to a Josh Wolf family party.
Really? No?
Yeah, because they always had them on Saturdays at 10. If you're a comic, you're working Saturday at 10. I got no time to go to your fucking family reunion, nothing like that. I never had time for none of that shit. I just talked to the fucking girl about the wedding in Jersey. I just put the cards on the table. Like last week, we had a nice talk, and she understands. And she goes, I know you're fucking busy. I got no time to fucking sit there from Wednesday to Saturday commiserating at a wedding. Are you fucking crazy?
No.
I would lose my fucking mind if I had to do something like that.
You'd kill them by Thursday.
Huh?
You'd kill them by like Thursday or Friday.
I'd kill myself. Anyway, as usual, my favorites. If you like lifting, working out, if you like your nuts in one spot, this is the fucking deal for you. Picture a world where putting on a new pair of underwear isn't just fresh. You're stepping into a better day. Can you picture that? You're like, when I get out of this fucking shower, I'm going to step into a better day. Think about it. Underwear is the first thing you put on in the morning and the last thing you take off. Why would you settle for anything less than the best feeling underwear on the planet? MeUndies focuses solely on producing the most comfortable underwear you've ever experienced. My friends at MeUndies sent me a few pairs a while back, and I can't imagine wearing anything else. And that's all I fucking wear. The lady at the massage, the chiropractor was giggling. I had the leopard print on the other day. I had to tell her. For the price of 2 cocktails, MeUndies will deliver your new favorite pair of underwear right to your doorstep. Better day guaranteed. Try them on. If they aren't the most comfortable, best feeling undies you've ever had, they'll refund you and let you keep the first pair for free. Included in the price is the sweet touch of Modal, a special fabric made with the best in-class raw materials that are scientifically proven to be 3 times softer than cotton. Plus, when you sweat, I don't know what happens with MeUndies. I'm telling you guys, your nuts don't fucking stink. These uber cozy undies are sold exclusively on the MeUndies website, where you enjoy free shipping in the U.S. and Canada. You understand me? And here's where it gets fucked up. I love MeUndies. It's the only pair of underwears I had on. I'm an old school motherfucker. For years, I wore the cotton whitey things. Fuck those things. Once they sent me MeUndies, they're tight. They keep everything tight. They're away from your muffler, so you have no skid marks, all that type of stuff. All right, so let's do this. And for a limited time, everyone in my audience get 20% off their first order. But you have to go on our special URL, MeUndies.com/Joey. With the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Plus, Uncle Joey's telling you, these are the nicest, softest, most comfortable fucking underwear you'll ever wear. So don't wait any longer. Go to MeUndies.com/Joey right now for 20% off your first order, and it gets delivered right to your door. Again, that's MeUndies.com/Joey. Give them a shot. Take a chance. Columbus did, cocksucker. It's a new year. You want to sling dick over the holidays? Put on MeUndies. They're probably going to have a Christmas fucking print with like a reindeer getting his asshole licked. This is what you need in your life. Go to MeUndies.com/Joey. Another thing I want to talk to you people about, all right? Magazines are where it's at. You travel. Everybody wants to keep up on certain little current affairs that they, some people like to hear about gossip. Some people want to read about the new cars that are coming up. Some people like Rolling Stone, like myself, for music and shit like that. Thanks to pizza, we're all binge eating. Thanks to Netflix, we all binge watch. But now with Texture, you can start binge reading. Trust me, it should be about one thing. When it comes to magazines, you know what you like. And with Texture, you get all the magazines you want in one super convenient place. The Texture app lets you tap into the world's most popular magazines anywhere using your smartphone or your tablet. Breeze through thousands of your favorite magazines, including back issues, and pick the articles that interest you the most. Texture has made it easy to find articles you care about. I don't just get to read these articles. I get to live them. You understand me? The Texture editorial team recommends content for me every day. Plus, I dive deeper with the personalized collections. Listen to these magazines, okay? You got Lulu French, House Beautiful, In Style, PC Magazine, 17, Shape Magazine, Sports Illustrated Kids, Sports Illustrated. Do you have Rolling Stone in this motherfucker? Hold on. With National Geographic. You got The Hollywood Reporter, The New Yorker, Time, Vanity Fair, Women's Day, Vegan Times, Women's Health, Yoga Journal, and the list goes on and on and on, all right? The best part is sign up for Texture right now, and you'll gain access to all the content in the world's best publications like the ones I just read to you. The best part is Texture's offering my listeners a free trial right now when you go to Texture.com/Joey. Again, you'll gain immediate entry into all the top magazines, including back issues and a bonus video content. Start binge reading right now for free. Right now when you go to Texture.com/Joey. One more time, Texture.com/Joey. I want to do you guys a big favor. I've been learning how to use this thing. They sent me this little cat feeder kind of thing. Machine that I'm learning how to use it. My wife's got it down with the app. Listen to me. We're thrilled to partner with you. And listen, I am thrilled to have Petnet SmartFeeder for cats and dogs, okay? My wife just got it. We just got it last week, and my wife is learning the app and how to do it. Do you ever wonder if you're overfeeding your animal? If you're overfeeding your pet? Sure, studies show feeding your pet the right amount every day will help them live longer. But how do you know you're feeding your pet the right amount of food each day, all right? I'll tell you how. Introducing the Petnet SmartFeeder, the new smartphone-controlled automatic pet feeder that personalizes, listen to me, it personalizes your pet's daily calorie intake using their age, weight, activity level, and food type. With the Petnet app, you can schedule and monitor your pet's meals all from your smartphone, meaning your pet is always fed, even when you're running late, even when you're not home, You can stop worrying about feeding your pet the wrong amount of food every day. The Petnet SmartFeeder will feed the healthiest portions at the right time, every time automatically. Listen, we all love our pet. And the Petnet SmartFeeder is the best way for you to make sure you're feeding them the right amount every day. But these things are popular, and since the Petnet SmartFeeder is produced in a limited quantity each month, you need to get yours before they sell out. Do me a favor. At shoppetnet.com/Joey today, and you'll get free shipping too. Right now, go to shoppetnet.com/Joey, and you'll get free shipping too. Personalize the way you feed your pets with Petnet. So do me a favor. Get your Petnet SmartFeeder right now, plus free shipping when you go to shoppetnet.com/Joey. Again, that's shoppetnet.com/Joey. Go take a look. This is the future. This is my cats love it. My cats love it. My wife's got it on a timer. I'm going to ask her this weekend exactly all the... I don't use apps too much. I'm not a big fucking app guy. I don't know what I'm doing. Lee always has to help me with fucking apps and whatnot. But this is the future. And if you love your animal, this is the way to go, all right? Again, go to shoppetnet.com/Joey. Take a look. See what you like. I'm going to give you free shipping when you go to shoppetnet.com/Joey, all right? And that's it. I want to thank my little brother, Lee Syatt. But most importantly, I want to thank you guys. I'm off this week. Next week, I'm at the South Point Casino in Las Vegas, the only place where Lee's banned from. And then 11/11, I'm at Boston at the Wilbur Theater. A few tickets left there. And then 11/12, I'm at the Foxwoods motherfucking Country Club in Connecticut, bitches. Show starts at 7:30. Be there or be square, motherfuckers. Listen, thank you for this week. I had a great week with you guys. Thank you for believing in the podcast. Thank you for listening to us. And thank you for the love you give us, all right? We'll be back Sunday night. Great little early podcast. So you have your shit nice and early on Monday morning, all right? I want to thank my little brother, Lee Syatt, and you cocksuckers for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Stay black, bitches.